This is According to the Shows. Come on in and enjoy the
Good day,
show.
everybody. Welcome to another episode of According to Michelle's. Let me first say Happy Teachers Day to all teachers watching. And if you know a teacher, please share this video because it's going to have a lot of nuggets. You're going to enjoy this conversation. And please pull up your seat and enjoy the show. No, in a day when people are tends to be unappreciative of teachers or tend to want to make it look as if teachers are not valuable, we find a conversation here where we have a student, in our past student rather, in the form of my previous guest, Nicole, who is wanting to share her flowers with her teacher, Miss Faith, and it is just a lovely time for this to happen because when you can smell your flowers, it is time to give our flowers to people. Let people know how much we appreciate them. And so I'm enjoying this opportunity to to create the stage for this flowers giving. So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest is Miss Faith Gordon and her past student, Miss Nicole Bailey. Put your hands together. Let's welcome them to According to Michelle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Teachers Day, Miss Faith. How are you?
Thank you. I am
Awesome,
very
awesome,
well.
awesome. And hi, Nicole. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Happy Teachers Day to
Yes,
everyone.
thank you so much. All right. So, guess what? I normally have my guests introduce themselves, but Nicole, I'm going to have you introduce your teacher to us. Then, of course, she can always amend
Well,
anything
I'll I'll, I'll
afterwards.
just I'll just I'll I'll just give a little two liner. She can take the reins on that.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
so as you said, this is Miss Faith Gordon, teacher extraordinaire, at least my teacher extraordinaire. My Spanish teacher from the 8th grade. That was like 28 years ago. Yeah. So she was with me my entire time at Ardenne High School as my Spanish teacher from the beginning until, I left high school. And she's remained a friend of mine. And that just goes to show you the value that she has to me, which is what we're here to showcase today. So, Faith Gordon, I'll ask you to take the reins on your own introduction. Go a little deeper into it.
You gave me a really awesome start.
Yeah.
So all of that is true. And so I actually taught Spanish at Ardenne High School for 19 years. It was very, very hard for me to leave Ardenne. I went on study leave 1999, 2001 to pursue a master's in counseling psychology. So I was actually changing my career.
Mm.
I went back to Ardenne, however, at the end of 2001. As I said, it was very hard to leave Ardenne. Ardenne is actually my alma mater, where I spent 7 years as a student there, having gone to sixth form. And I served as one of the deputy head girls. Went to UE from sixth form and went straight back to Ardenne to teach, where I spent 19 years. I was away from Ardenne during those 19 years when I went on study leave, one to do a full-time postgraduate diploma in education at the University of the West Indies. And then when I went to do the master's, 1999 to 2001, I found every excuse not to leave Ardenne. I almost had to be dug out of Ardenne
Oh, wow.
to hand in my resignation. When I had to hand in my resignation, because I'm ready now for another job, it's counseling. The day when I handed in my resignation, I wept. I wept. And then so I started my profession as a counselor slash therapist in the education system still, but at the tertiary level. All right. And I have been serving as counselor now for what, 19 years now. I've only served in the field of education all my working life. I know no other context, and it has just been so fruitful talking about the flowers being given now before we pass on. It was at Ardenne High School, Shells, that I actually understood my own value and worth. The students made me understand that. So I used to get parties on my birthday. My birthday is May 6th. And then Teachers' Day is the first Wednesday in May. My students would celebrate me as teacher, my birthday, and even as mother. So May became very special to me, and the students are very special. I don't know, I just love young people. I just love them. And I give them everything. And it is important for me, for them to know that they are loved, that I love them first to begin. They have to know that. Nicole will tell you that as a teacher, as a firm, there were students who were afraid of me.
Okay.
But
Still to this day.
Oh, really?
I'm kidding. I don't know.
But they knew I cared. They just so knew I cared. They wouldn't get away with not doing their work. And they had to behave themselves, Michelle's. The mother would come in there, and the mother in me, I believe that's what my students saw. I've always seen my students as not just my students, but the males are my sons and the females are my daughters. So I'm at Shortwood Teachers College now. This is my 9th year as counselor, and that's how I see the students. Those I know, those I have met personally, those I haven't met personally, the whole shebang of them. I don't know. That's just how I'm wired to invest myself in people. And that has really come, Michelle's. I cannot not mention this. I have been a Christian since age 9. And I've always felt that if persons are really to know the Jesus I serve, they have to see it in me, and which is going to be demonstrated by my love for them. Right. When I was growing up, I had all kinds of emotional issues. I was in an awesome family. I had my mother and my father that took care of me. I'm the last of 8. I'm the wash belly, and it's true. I was spoiled, and I still am spoiled. But somehow I felt like my family didn't love me. I call it that the enemy sold me a lie. It was that they just were not speaking my own love language. So I remember in 6th form, so I did foreign languages in 6th form, Spanish and French and English literature. And the compulsory subject was, wait, name now, general paper. And I wrote, when I became a teacher, I found an essay that I had written in 6th form in Spanish, all right? And I'm reading this essay, and the thing was what you want to become in life, your ambition. And I said I wanted to become a teacher. And the reason, this was written in Spanish, of course, the reason I put Shells, because I want to listen to the students, hear their problems, and help them. Is that the role of a teacher? I looked at it and I laughed. I said, but Faith, that's a counselor.
Well,
So
I mean,
when
I
I was
end up doing that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
So when I was actually leaving Ardenne High School as a teacher, I told you it was hard for me to leave.
Mhm.
What I did, I had to take, I'm going to call it a piece, quote unquote, of the students. So I bought two journals and I told them to write in it what they want to say to me as I go. I have them up to today.
Mhm.
And one of them said to me, a couple of them, a few of them said, Miss, we always knew you were a guidance counselor. That's, we saw that. And so they weren't surprised about the transition. They were sad. One of them said, Miss, she was in seventh grade. I remember her, Ashley Chateau. She said, Miss, we don't want you to go, but if it makes you happy, you can go. I'll stop here for your next question.
This is really awesome. This is awesome. And I just want to say kudos to you for the life and the journey you've had and the lives you have touched. It's such a blessing. And happy birthday when it comes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you,
yes,
thank you.
awesome. So May is
It's,
definitely your
I've been,
month.
yes, I'm just, let me tell you, I have just been so enriched and fulfilled for having spent all of these, 38 years now, working in the field of education.
Mm-hmm.
I love children and I love young people. I, I hurt when they are hurt. And I can't help myself just giving myself in service to them,
Mm-hmm.
and letting them know how very precious they are. When Nicole searched me out, was it like 2 years ago, my birthday, Nicole?
Last year it was your birthday.
It was last year. So Nicole searched me out. Me never even know so this picnic did come back from which part ever. Oh, am I am I permitted to speak Creole here? And Nicole said, she wants to take me out for my birthday. We're gonna go to this Mediterranean because of how much I've meant her. But she consistently tells me that,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't, I consistently get flowers, quote unquote, from
Yeah.
Nicole and from so many others. Some of them I meet on the road now, Shells. I don't look here. I don't remember them name. Sometimes I don't remember the face because they are big men and women and I have not
Mm-hmm.
seen them for how
Mm-hmm.
long. And it feels like it's millions of young people have passed through my hand. And they will say to me, so Miss, you remember so and so when you did so and so? I don't quite remember. A lot of it I don't remember. I will tell you this. I was traveling on Mandela one night
Mm-hmm.
and I heard this constant blowing of a horn behind me. I soon enough stopped because I'm wondering, is what? A young man came out of the car behind me and he came to my door and he said, Miss, you don't remember me? And then he told me his name, the name started ringing a bell, and he said to me, Miss, you gave me a book. And, he wasn't a student. I was at VTDI Heart Trust at the time. He was one of the trainees.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I served as counsel at VTDI Heart Trust for 10 years before I went to Shortwood.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Miss, you gave me a book. And I still have the book. And I'm still reading it. And he blew me. I don't know how he recognized me in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided that I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
I had not seen him since before I left VTD. I had trust because he was a trainee for a year. So he
Mm-hmm.
actually left before me. Stuff like that um, makes me feel that life is worth living. And
Awesome.
the truth is that That's what life is about, especially if you're a child of God. You know, the pain we suffer is purposeful. And I've seen the purpose in my own pain as a young person trying to figure out life. I've seen the purpose in my own pain as I've sojourned through the context of education, the field in which I've only worked. I have no regrets. I
Awesome.
actually, when I went to Ardenne, you know, I actually planned to spend 2 years teaching because I hear that teachers don't get money. And when I went to UWI to study, though, you know, I wanted to teach because I have a big sister who is a teacher. Two of my big sisters are teachers, and they both taught at Ardenne too. So, me want to turn teacher. When I went to UWI, however, and mixed with my peers, them no want to turn teacher because teacher no make money. But the money thing doesn't drive me. But you know, being uncertain about my own identity at the time, I said, "Oh, so I don't want to turn teacher again." So what am I going to know? So when I started teaching, I planned to just spend 2 years, but the 2 years became 19, and I have no regrets. I wouldn't have met Nicole, and I've met lots of other students like Nicole. Students are just awesome. Young people are just awesome. I don't know how come some teachers may treat them unkindly sometimes, or how parents may treat them unkindly. I still try to wrap my head around that. For me, if a student gives problems, you know, and makes themselves unlovable, for me, that's a student who needs love. And I'm going to go after you, just like God pursues us relentlessly with love.
Awesome. So you're saying that you started out with 2 years in mind, but then it led to 19 years. At some point, you woke up and you said, "This is it." Can you remember just coming to that realization? What did that feel like for you? That you're in your life's purpose.
Yes. This is it. What it felt like. I can't even remember the exact time. I think you know, as I sojourned through teaching, I just found it increasingly fulfilling. And I I just continued through it and didn't want to leave it. How did I decide to be a counselor? Okay, so my big sister Grace, she taught at Ardenne for 13 years. Um, awesome teacher, awesome sister. And she understood the need to also be earning. Daddy died. My father died when I was 11 years of age. Grace is the eldest. When daddy died, four of us were still in school. All right. Grace and my other siblings took the reins, and my mother was a housewife. Since she got married at age 30, she never worked. Daddy was a breadwinner. He was a builder and contractor. He passed at 57 years of age. I was 11 years old. The day he passed was the day I was supposed to have started Ardenne High School as a student. Okay. So my sister Grace was teaching at Ardenne, and you know, there was much of the financial responsibility became hers. She was single. My other three siblings after her were married. And so I'm imagining they would not have been able to carry as much of the financial responsibility as she seemed poised to be able to do. And it was, you know, challenging for her. And so she never wanted me to experience that, that not having money, or enough money as a teacher. Um, and so I ultimately started thinking about, so what else am I going to do? In 1986, the Lord told me I was to go into counseling. I started teaching in 1981. Jeremiah 1. So as I search for what should I do, since teaching doesn't pay and I shouldn't be spending too long in it, the Lord brought me to, I don't know, I got to Jeremiah 1, which is really the call of Jeremiah. And from that, I heard, Faith, you are to go into counseling. I started checking out where I can do that. At the time, it wasn't offered a lot at that time. So the Caribbean Graduate School of Theology offered a diploma in it at the time. This would have been about 1986, I think. I hope I'm getting my years accurate there. And I think the program had not yet been accredited, as far as I can remember. I hope I'm not telling tales. So I stayed in teaching until the program was accredited, and no, it was a master's degree, which is really what I wanted. I had a first degree already, so I had to do the prerequisites and so on. And so I spent 2 years. I went on study leave for 2 years, and I completed the program and so on. And the rest is history. I started my work as counselor in January 04 to this date. I see myself transitioning again. Well, man, I don't know. Let's see what the Lord has in store. But I'm feeling, sensing a strong leading now from the Holy Spirit into leadership. I have been very concerned about leadership in our nation in every context. School, church, family, in the area of politics, organizations, And I'm doing a doctoral program now in educational leadership with Delaware State University. And I've been learning so much. The program is extremely intense. It's the first time in my life I'm working and studying. And but I'm enjoying the program. I'm finding it extremely fulfilling. I feel like I'm being expanded. I'm growing like, wow, in every single area of my life. All the dimensions of my life: physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual. I found it very refreshing. Let's see where the Lord will take me. My dream job actually, is to go full time in ministry, as in church. I see myself one day possibly pastoring a church, or I'd love to marry a pastor actually. I've always had that on my mind. Oh, what do you want? Oh, I want to marry a pastor from a long time. I don't know where I get that from. And then now when I see the years going by, shells, I'm not married yet. Me say, oh, maybe I'm me if you turn the pastor.
All things are possible. Still hope.
I really do feel a strong pastoral calling on my life. Actually, teaching, counseling, and pastoring, they are very much connected. And of course, we deal with people and building people, all three areas. And I love to work with people. People, that's my thing.
So every time you pivot, there is some growth that takes place for you, and I see that it's really exciting to know that you're still evolving. You see, you feel alive again, just as before. All right. So what I
All right.
want to
In
find
fact,
out.
I may add this,
Oh,
Michelle. You see how my chat enough?
no, it's okay. You're
I
fine.
may, I may add this. There are persons who, the older they get, the more they become sad about their birthday, because there are so many persons who have regrets. So I am this age and I'm not yet married, or I may not own a house yet, or I may not do all of these things. And there are those who feel sad. For me, Shells, it's the opposite.
Mm.
Older I become, is the more satisfied I am with life.
Oh,
So for me
awesome.
now, I'm almost 60. Next year, Saturday. Next week, Saturday.
Mm.
I get the thing of talking my age like this because of my big sister Grace. She's like that. I don't know my age. And so I'm living my best life now,
That's
actually.
right.
True, true. I'm not married. I still expect to be married. The Lord did tell me my
Yeah,
vows back for me. I may wonder why I'm taking so long now, though.
I know, right?
I not ready now?
Yeah, I
But
know. Come already.
but I'm happy as a single woman too.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. But I'd love to be married as well.
Yes, I understand.
And I expect to be one day. But even if it doesn't happen, it's still good. I
Mm.
love life.
Yeah.
And God, my Father, God, He's my everything. He's the one who makes life so beautiful for me. And I will tell my students, there are students, Shells, who call me Angel. When I heard it from a couple of them at Ardenne, I said to myself, oh, them a picnic. Let me check anything. Because when students love you, Shells, you're a teacher yourself, you're an educator yourself. Oh, they're extravagant in their expression. They deal with
Mm-hmm.
superlatives and just out of this world and ta-na-na-na. So I wasn't putting them on practice until a teacher at Ardenne, she called me an angel. I am working in the tertiary, at the tertiary level now, at Shortwood here right now. And a student, I've had a couple of students likening me to an angel. And I'm very careful to say, Shells, whatever beauty you see in me is the beauty of Jesus and what he has done in my own life. Um,
Amen.
I take the compliments. My love language, my primary love language is words of affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
and I love to hear the mush and so on. And but I know where the beauty that people see in me. I know where it came from. God, my Father makes me look real good.
Mm.
I don't
Awesome.
know how the potential husband, can see it yet.
No worries, man. No worries. It's superpower.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So you were talking about your students calling you Angel. We have one of
Mm,
the angel callers here. I'm sure
yeah.
she would agree with that name. I want you to try and remember the days with Nicole. What was that like? Do you remember any stories? Any stories to share?
Well, specifically with our group, don't want to
Yes.
hone in on me, telling all
Are
my
you afraid?
secrets.
You're afraid to tell real story?
To tell you the truth, Shells, a lot of, at least some of it I don't remember so well. Students tell me, Nicole was talking to me this morning and she was telling me about the vocabulary book. Nicole, you better talk about it. Nicole would be a good person to answer that question for me. But
Mm-hmm.
I do remember enjoying that class. I had them from grade 8 to grade 11. Was it? I taught you Spanish and I was your form teacher.
Yes, she was our
Right.
form teacher.
And I invested in that group as form teacher. I became their mother. Look here, Shells, they better behave themselves. Do not ramp with me. And it was clear to me that the level of attention I gave them, they wanted it, they needed it, they enjoyed it, they were awesome children. And they're the kind of children I believe any kind of mother, any mother would want to have children like that. So I invested in them, and they were in me. And we had, you know, I love them. I wrote them a letter. Nicole can tell you, Mom, I love write letter. It's very time consuming, but I wrote a common letter to the form when they were, was it 9, 8, what was it, 10?
In the 11th,
In grade 11.
yeah.
And I tell
Which
them
I
how
have
them,
here.
yeah, oh my.
You still have the letter?
I still have it in the same
Okay, Nicole, you
envelope.
go and talk now.
But Nicole,
you
tell us
heard me
about
and
this letter. Read a little bit of it.
Well, before should I read a little bit of it
you can
later on? So, well,
if you want to.
before I start to get all mushy and lay into my flowers. The reason why she talked about this in her journey, which is I think was very important to share. One of the things that I wanted to give or to get from this storytelling to teachers in particular and professionals, that you can pivot. You know, there are a lot of persons that I come across who are teachers or in other careers, and they feel as though they have to stay in what they're doing, and they may not be like Faith, who is passionate about it but still chose to move on. No, that you can move on and you can pivot into something else. In fact, I spend a lot of my adult life, professional life, changing careers and changing jobs. And when I look back into my life, she was the first person that I learned that from, that you could change, because I was saying to myself, why would she want to go do anything else? You know, I didn't see that within my own household. You know, everybody, they were in their one job for the rest of their life, until they retired. But looking at my life now and how I've changed, that is where the influence came from. I didn't know at the time what it meant and how it would impact me. And so to speak about the high school experience now. So it's about showing teachers that you are valued, and there's a handful of students who will remember you. So if it is your passion, then continue in it. If it is not, you can pivot and do something else. So as a student at the time there, as she said, people were afraid of her. I was afraid of her. But because she was our form teacher as well, we saw the strict Miss Gordon, but we also saw the mother and the angel and the compassion that she showed and the love that she showed to us. We were able to see that. So when other people say Miss Gordon this or Miss Gordon that, we're like, you don't know Miss Gordon. We know her. And the mere fact that we are still friends now and that I search her out, as she said. Search her out. It's very important to me to let people know how I feel about them. And I always remember words that they say, the impact that they made. So much so that I take her everywhere with me. Not physically, but I've lived overseas. I've lived in 3 countries since 2007. And I've always taken her with me through this letter and other little gifts that she's given me. I hold her very close to me all the time. And another lesson that I've learned from her too, that I've employed in my own life, is that it really takes nothing away from you to be kind.
Truly.
To smile. She's always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen Miss Gordon. Faith, sorry. I'm a grown woman now. Faith. Faith, I've never seen her in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
Always smiling, always positive, no matter what's going on. And I'm sure that she's had some tough situations and she probably met some not so nice people, but you would never know. And I try to embody that, and it's also something that I saw in my house too. So what I saw at home was reinforced at school through her. And so she was an extension of my house, my household, my parents. And as she said, she always wants us to know that she loves us. In this letter, there's a lot of love in the letter. There's another gift that she gave me here.
Aww.
It's like a I call it my Tweety bird, sign.
Mhm.
And she has a message at the back, and she says, I love you so very much, you know. And so I'm getting a little emotional.
Oh yeah, I started crying already.
Yeah. So I mean, when they say she's an angel, I don't know. I don't know if there's any other word I could use. There's so many other words, but she really is a godsend and a special human being. And I will never ever forget her. Even if I've never got to keep in touch with her like this, I would never ever forget the impact that she had on me. And as a student, I was very quiet. When I was very shy, I didn't really talk a lot, you know. I was kind of like invisible, if you want to say, but she saw me. She saw me. And I don't remember how we became so close, but she did counsel me, you know. I remember meeting Miss Gordon, Faith. I remember meeting her after school or outside of school to talk, you know, about any issues that I was having. She had Saturday classes for us. I don't recall we are having to pay anything for that. I think that was just at her, you know, just the kindness of her heart. And I could go on and on, honestly, about how important she has been and how important teachers are. And they need to realize that too, and take heed to the calling, you know, as she has pointed out, she was called to do this. I believe in whatever profession or whatever job you're doing, you were called to do it, even for a short period of time. So take it seriously and be happy, you know, be happy to have an opportunity to mold. And that's something I wanted to say to her as well. I remember about a decade ago, two of my other classmates and I went to the school. I hadn't been to the school since graduation. And one of the teachers, when she saw us, she was like, you guys were such a moldable batch. A moldable batch. So, and I think she just spoke about how wonderful we were as kids, as students, and you know, any parent would be happy to have us. So that's my take on all of this.
Read piece of the letter now. Read piece of the letter. Read piece of the letter now.
By the way, I also found out that one of my classmates still has the letter too. So I said, do you still have Miss Grant's letter? She said, yes, I still have it. So I'm not the only one. So everybody got the same letter, right? Everybody got the same letter, but
yes,
she wrote your name at the top here. It's 2 pages. I don't know if I should read all of it or parts of it.
Just read a piece that stand out to you the most, I guess.
Okay. All right, we speak about her leaving. She's saying this is her last year. So she said, as I look back, there are some things I would have wanted to accomplish in my personal life, which we spoke about earlier too, and teaching career, which did not come to pass. I had some success, yes. The most obvious was the CXC results. All my students passed, 7 out of 24 getting grade 1, thank God. This year as last year, I carry an awesome responsibility, that of guiding/supervising the other teachers in my department and teaching the students. You know, 11-5 was our group. Yesterday, I came out of a workshop for the heads of department, wondering if I was cut out for this job as HOD. The task seemed so great, in a sense, beyond me. Then I have lessons to prepare, you children take care of, and my own studies to pay attention to. I continue with my courses this academic year. When I think about the load, I just want to run sometimes. Perhaps some of you might be feeling like that today, wishing the holidays never had to come to an end, not wanting to face the CXC exams, not wanting to leave school. Hush, never mind. We'll do it together. You are not alone in this. I am here for you, and I know you're there for me. Your support last year helped me make it through, and I know I have it this year. So I know I'll make it again. I'll be victorious no matter the challenge, for I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can make it to 11.5. It might be rough, but you'll make it. I'm here, and don't you ever hesitate to lay it on me. I want to know what's happening to you. If, when it hurts too much, you can tell me so we can work together to make it better, whatever your it is. I'll stop right there. Whatever your it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Because I had my it's, you know, and she spoke to me and counseled me through all of that.
And the fact that she said, let's do it together. So
Let's do it
at different
together.
time in your life, take up that paper, you feel as if she's literally
Yeah, she's
holding your
there.
hand.
She's there, yes.
Awesome. That's
If I may add here, Shells, you know, when I see what the students have become, for example, like Nicole, I'm just so proud of them. And I'm so proud of you, Nicole. I've told her that I had the privilege of journeying with them in their younger years. And I've had the privilege of seeing them blossom and find their niche in society and giving back and just doing exploits. And Nicole is one of those, and I'm very, very proud of her. She's just awesome. Young people are awesome, you know. If they have the right stimulus and the right persons in their lives, such as teachers, we they can do very, very well.
Yeah.
Because the spirit of excellence is upon each of them, and they just need to be connected with the right people, you know, who can bring that out. And I've seen that happen in so many of them, Nicole, for example. And I'm just so blessed to that she dragged me into this. She wouldn't let up. You know, she wouldn't let up because I'm saying I don't even have time for this. And never nervous. And what is Nicole bothering me for? But
No, it's just so important to share stories. You know, not just people in the public eye, but everyday people. We all have
Right,
stories to
definitely.
tell. And I thought I probably didn't have a story, but I sat and I spoke with you, and that has impacted other people, you know, positively. And I know that this will too.
awesome. And one thing I've learned, you know, Shells, I have students in my life like Nicole, past students that I've had the privilege of investing in. And today, I learn from them, I lean on them. Because Nicole has shared some awesome nuggets just now, you know, and other teachers who will listen to this will grow from what she has shared. So I have mentored, I have what now, and they have now become my mentors and persons I can lean on. It's just awesome. It is in giving that you receive.
Truly, truly. So before we go, any parting words or nugget to the teachers watching, and just
Yes.
encourage the heart. 'Cause a lot of people still, I know by now their hearts will be full of joy because just hearing your story. But any parting words of knowledge or wisdom for
Yes.
our colleagues?
I would just want to tell them, ensure that they get to a place where they love themselves. One.
That part.
A lot of us don't love ourselves. And identify what is it that might be blocking that for you and go get help. And it is out of that you will be able to pour love into your students. The most difficult student, I don't believe that a student is dunce. I don't believe a student is bad. I always want to find out, so how comes you're not doing well? What
Mm,
is it? And when we have a lot of love for ourselves, that's what we have and that's what we will give. Love is the key. It changes people, I tell you. I have seen that. And of course, bottom line is being able to tap into God's love, because
mhm,
that's where it is at, unconditional. And there are some students who give us a real hard time. And it's unconditional, relentless love, like God demonstrates that they need. Bottom line, that's kind of where my
mhm.
educational philosophy is at, or whatever. Keep on doing what you're doing, teachers. Take care of yourselves. As Nicole said, if you need to change your career, if you need to move on, do that. Because sometimes we do need to move on in order to find greater fulfillment in life.
Mm, awesome, awesome.
A
And
word, as Shelley always says, that's a word.
yes, I already did that part.
Yeah.
That is truly a gem, truly, truly. So we talk about taking care of yourself. If I know you just talk about taking care of yourself, what do you do? What's your self-care um
Oh,
day for yourself?
yes, I'm learning to to increase that because I have more of a tendency. I've had a more of a tendency to give to others first,
Yep.
but
Mm-hmm.
the Lord has really been teaching me to attend to myself. So what do I do? Like when I wake up in the mornings, I try not to be on the phone WhatsApping somebody to give them a word of encouragement. It's like second skin to me, actually. But to attend to me. So to try to ensure I spend time with the Lord, feeding myself, just being with me.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
I fun for me is talking with some bonding, connecting with somebody, somebody I trust and who I know trust me, and we care for each other, and just to share our experiences of life,
Mm-hmm.
and to, iron sharpening iron, and we grow. I like to go out and eat.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like talking over food. I love food. Of course, I have to, be more controlled. That's a part of the self-care, actually. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of my challenge now. Re-exercise and eating right. I like to go to movies. To be honest, my social life isn't so good. I'm studying now and so on, but I have to get it in. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I am drained and feeling sad or lonely, I find help. I don't sit with any struggle that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I find help. If I need to talk to a therapist to pay my money to do that, I do that. And I have to, because we as counselors, we have to make sure that we have our stuff taken care of
True.
Mhm.
so that we can have to give to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So I have good friends. I have a very strong support base, Shells, in
Mm-hmm.
my family, first of all, and in my friends, past students who have become friends like Nicole and so on. God has blessed me. And yeah, those are some of the ways in which I care for myself. I need to do, I still am growing in that area.
Yes. Well, as we have learned that as you evolve, you do grow. So
Yes.
I know that as time goes by, you'll find
Yeah.
other ways to take care of yourself. Thank you so much for coming on, Miss Gordon. Thank you so much, Nicole, for introducing us. I
Yeah.
really, I'm listening to it. I'm like, wow, you sound like if I was at Ardenne or Shortwood or wherever, you'd have been a cool colleague to really bounce stuff off and just, makes the teaching journey easy when your colleagues are the same. It don't have to be the same wavelength all the time, but if everybody's antagonist, it adds to the stress
There's
of that journey.
synergy.
So it's
Synergy.
so I had a blast working along with you. It's just that I was on the other side of the island. I wasn't in Mandeville. I'm listening to your days and I'm like, okay, I was in Mandeville that time, or okay, I was shifting to Mobile or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
And the
was
truth
always on
is,
the other side of the island.
yes, I'm so sorry. The truth is that, without, at the risk of blowing my own trumpet, I enjoy working with my colleagues and they enjoy working with
Mm.
me.
Yeah, yes,
We,
awesome,
we,
awesome.
I enjoy relating to
Yes,
people
awesome. You
and they
should
enjoy
definitely
relating.
put your stories in a book. I know it's gonna be a number one seller.
Yes.
I plan to write.
Yeah. Mhm.
You plan to write? You plan?
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Well, you can use me. If I can remember anything, you know.
yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Oh
it was
boy.
really a pleasure for me to be
Yes.
on your show. On
Thank you
your,
for coming. And to all the teachers watching again, happy Teachers Day. Receive your flowers. There's a expression that says you may feel how do I go about to somebody you are the world. Something like that, remember?
Oh,
There's an expression about that.
I know it.
It's almost as if you're thinking, oh, it's me alone, but somebody you are everything in their world. And
yeah,
know assure that we appreciate you, teachers. And there's always that one student that needs you. So don't give up. And if it's a case that you need to pivot, do that with grace. And God go with you, whatever journey you decide to take yourself.
yes.
I want to say thank you, Miss Gordon. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on. It has been a lovely episode. I enjoyed myself. And guys, you remember what I always say: take care of you, because there's only one you. Do have a blessed day, everybody. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Love you,
Thank
Faye.
you. Bye.
Bye.